Hello, fellow adventurers, and welcome to the first episodes of Tales of Dragon Harvest. The goal of this podcast series is just to give you some of the shorter, sweeter stories inside the Dragon Harvest universe. Now, there are longer stories that if you want to check out, you're welcome to do that. Go to dragonharvestuniverse.com, you'll find them there. We're presently working on releasing our first book, Demon and Witch, which is the origin story to all of the tales in Dragon Harvest. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. Explore the world, explore the website, sign up for our newsletter, get all the updates on the adventures that you can be having. Today, we're reading a story called Tarts and Targets. Again, this is a shorter story, but I think it's a really sweet one. So let's dive in and let's see what we find ourselves in. I am standing in the wrong room, and I am wearing the wrong clothes. Please don't misunderstand me. I had meant to break into the old king's castle. I had even intended to get close to him. Only I figured I would find him late at night as he slept. Yet through a series of nuanced mishaps, I encounter myself dressed as one of his soldiers. From the helmet to the boots, black all the way down. Moreover, I am joined to a legion of others dressed in similar garbs. We march into the Red Lord's great hall, his throne room, his grand chamber. "Stand for your king," he shouts at us, pacing back and forth in front of his throne. We are already standing. We pour in through the room's double doors, 3 at a time, separating into 2 distinct units in the great hall. It feels somewhat pomp and circumstance. And that we are all wearing black, the trumpeteers play the same 15-second melody over and over again, and that the air of the room screams, "None of us will ever be the same." I'm even 3 rows back, which is fitting for a group this size since my last name starts with the letter K. After the king's musicians have thoroughly beat their tunes into our heads, and the last trio of troops marches in, the room falls strangely silent. An ant traverses past the king and he stomps it to death several times over. Then he is quiet again for a moment. "Who did it?" our Lord addresses us. His eyes bulge wide. He has put his pacing to death and instead stands noble and astute before us. No one answers. "Who did it?" he yells. "Answer me!" His voice crackles like a wood-burning candle as he lets out one long last note of anger. "I will gut every last one of you," he tells us, "if that's what it takes." Again, there's quiet. "My lord," a soldier decorated with a crimson plume atop his uniform speaks up. "What is the matter? What kind of crime do you speak of?" The king looks at him as if he has just been assaulted. Even from 3 rows back, I can see the veins exploding in the Red King's eyes. He holds his hands behind his back and presses the train of his cape against him. His Majesty descends the steps pouring out from his throne slowly. He reaches the tiled ground we array ourselves on and canters towards his feather-headed subject. "Who," he whispers, "stole my tarts?" He spits as he screams, almost as if on purpose. I gaze as the confronted soldier leans back as much as he can manage without moving his feet. I'm glad my helmet covers my face. Poor chap. The king passes on from him, strutting patiently before the front row of troops. He stares into their eyes, looking for their souls and revealing his own. One young man makes the mistake of sneezing, and the whole room turns their gaze on him. "Take him away," the king demands. "Beat him, kill his parents, and if he doesn't have any, find him some." This is not how I saw my day going. The military man beside me begins shaking, a low, rattling cymbal playing in a solemn bookshop. Despite his working for the Mad Lord, I can't help but feel sorry for him. "Hey," I whisper to the gentleman. His headgear turns slightly in my direction. "A woman?" he whispers back. I do not answer him. "You're going to be okay. Just stay calm," I instruct. He turns his head fully forward. His shaking quiets. "Thank you," he wisps through his breath. My attention returns to the room. Another soldier is being hauled off. this time by the two soldiers next to him. He begs, drags his feet, and reaches for our hands. It does him no good. In a moment, he is gone. "My king," a man bursts into the room, as if he is ready to stop a wedding. "New tarts have been made." The mad one straightens up from the staring contest he has been in with some fatherly-looking figure. He rubs his hand through his beard, reflecting on the news. Purple streaks make their way down the silver-tinted auburn bristles on his chin and cheeks. Purple, like raspberry. "Oh," he peers down at his palm. "Would you look at that?" He turns his hand to the soldier he's been dead gazing at. His face carries a wild smile. "I ate the tarts. Silly me." He gives two gentle slaps to the soldier's face and begins his ascent back to his throne. "Must have forgotten. I've been very busy, after all." He settles on his throne. "Okay, here's the plan. Someone has to take the fall for this, and it's not going to be me." And the room is quiet. Even the messenger of good news seems to be sweating, making nearly invisible scooches back to the door he came in through. I had come to the Mad King's home to save my people. I had come to set us free. But now that I'm here, I can see how deep the slavery runs. Nobody is here for their good pleasure. Even the knights are hostages. Well, our dark leader demands, who will it be? It dawns on me that perhaps my mission isn't to win the war. Maybe I came here today to win the battle. Maybe I can't save Etheria, but right now I can save these men. I step forward. "I did it," I announce to the room. I take my helmet off, and as I do, I understand what a tart feels like. I'm crusted with plates externally, but inside everything is turned to jelly. Now I'm the one shaking. I stole the king's tart. "I knew it," he cries out in a scratchy falsetto. His finger points so sharply at me that I can feel it sting. "Never trust a woman, isn't that right, lads?" he asks the room. To my disappointment, there are a few approving nods back to him. "Take her away." A pair of guards move to grab me. They are stopped by the Mad King. "No, I want my red guards to deal with her." A door behind his throne opens, and out of its darkness 3 knights covered in ruby-rimmed armor step towards me. I can't help but breathe like a dog. I can't bother myself to have some dignity. I beg them not to touch me. I cry for them not to take me away. Of course, they do not listen. They put a bag over my head and push me off my feet. For a moment, all I can do is feel. I feel the gauntlets holding me by my arms. I feel my heels slide behind me. They fishtail each time we turn. Then I feel us go downstairs. I'm stripped of my armor. Buckets upon buckets of water are splashed over me, some of which make me feel like I'm drowning. Then I'm being redressed. No telling by who. I only know that they are softer, more gentle hands than those of the Red Knights. Then again I'm grabbed by old hands, big, strong metal ones, and I'm carried up a spire. A door opens and I'm thrown on a bed. It is plush, evidently with several covers. The bag is pulled off my head. Before me stands 2 men of the Red Guard. They look down at me. I can feel their judgment from behind their helmets. One of them leans down. "Finish the mission," he tells me. I stare at him. Who knows what he means? He pulls a red dagger from his belt and sets it on my lap. Then he rises. The pair begins making their way to the door. "Aren't you supposed to kill me?" I ask them. It's not something I want to remind them of, but I can't bear to stay here without knowing. The soldier who knelt over me turns around. He stares at me. "Finish the mission," he states again. He pivots and exits behind his comrade. I am left alone. Who knows whose bedroom this is? Unless maybe the Red Guard knew of my plan? It's not clear, but I can't help feeling that I am standing in the wrong room and I am wearing the wrong clothes. That short story was called Tarts and Targets. Now, my short stories, I don't go through as many editing drafts as I would like to. as I'm working on with my long form. But the ones that I feel like are good enough on their first or second take, I want to share with you guys. I want the world to be filled out. I want you guys to have stories to enjoy. So if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you want to shoot me a letter and get on our website, I encourage you to do that. And let me know, did you like this story? What resonated with you? What didn't? As for myself, I'll share some of my favorite things. I didn't know where I was going with this story when I started, and sometimes I really like to go that way. More than I like building out the world and then telling the story, I like telling the stories while I build out the world and then making adjustments on the back end, making sure everything fits as I create new rules and say, how does that impact what's happened? How will that impact what's going forward? In this story, something that I did aim to do is start and end in the same kind of place. Now, obviously, the story progresses. We have a movement towards a payoff, something that's been promised at the beginning. But that line, I'm standing in the wrong room and I'm wearing the wrong clothes, creates a sort of chiastic structure in the story. Not quite a circle, but a circle in theme so that the whole thing has a bow on it. And I really enjoyed doing that for this story. What did you like about this story? Let me know. I would really be curious to hear. And stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, or just keep plugged in if you would like to hear future stories, future tales of Dragon Harvest. Thanks for listening.